So I'm a professional bass angler and I live my dream every day.
Come here.
I travel and fish the Bassmaster Elite Series and I'm blessed to get to do so.
Got it.
We travel the country trying to catch the 5 biggest bass in whatever lake we go to. They're multiple day tournaments. It's all about who can catch the biggest fish each week of the year.
Cody Huff moves into the lead.
In my mind, I'm a pretty laid back fella. It takes a lot to get me excited.
Biggin'. Yes! That's what I'm talking about, baby! Freaking giant!
But I'm very, very passionate about what I'm doing.
Yes! Thank you, Jesus!
So the Bassmaster Classic, that is the tournament in bass fishing that can change a guy's life. They call it the Super Bowl bass fishing for a reason, but it's a tournament that I want to win really, really bad. This is the real deal, and it's go time. We're here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, getting ready for the Bassmaster Classic. We're just going through all of our check-in and registration, and you know, there's all kinds of hosts from different companies setting us up with all kinds of really awesome stuff. So now we're kind of just waiting on our meeting to get started. So this year, the Bassmaster Classic is on Grand Lake in Oklahoma. Just being at the Classic, it's one of those things that's so overwhelming that you can get caught up in Classic Week because it's just so busy. You know, you don't really have any time to sit back and think about anything. It's a crazy week. You know, just 50-something guys fishing for $300,000. I mean, if that doesn't give you goosebumps, I don't know what's going to. You walk into the room and you see a lot of the guys that you grew up watching. You start to realize the seriousness of what you're about to get into and what's fixing to happen. We just got done going through our registration. We're about to jump into our pre-tournament meeting. We're just going to go over all the rules and just kind of what our week's going to look like. So right now, I'm just out here trying to pick up, reorganize stuff, and you know, make sure I've got all my poles ready for practice tomorrow. Tomorrow is our official practice day. We do our full run through of an actual tournament day, and then we've got media day, and then it's time to kick this tournament off on Friday. It's so exciting because it's just such a life-changing tournament for somebody. Every big tournament here is supposedly won on a jig or a spinnerbait, and this tournament will probably be one on a jig or a spinnerbait, unless somebody finds something cool. I just like getting bites. If they want to bite a wacky worm, I'll catch them. If they want to bite a jig, even better, you know. I'm just happy to be catching them however they want to bite. I mean, it's springtime, man. It's just changing. You see all the trees budding, and these fish want to come to the bank really, really bad, and it's just going to be about who figures it out on the fly, and that's a lot of fun, man. That's exciting. I kind of like it, honestly. Hopefully we're fishing all 3 days and can keep it exciting, you know. Everybody wants to have a shot on Sunday, so that's what we're shooting for. We want to be there with a chance to win on Sunday. Good morning, guys. We're about to take off here for our official practice day at the Classic, and you know, you never know, you might be able to find, you know, the winning deal to win the Bassmaster Classic today. Before the Classic actually starts, we do have a tournament run-through day, and it is just like a regular tournament day. We'll get a marshal. We actually go through takeoff and go through check-in, just like we're going to do on the tournament day. Plus, it's another day to practice. We practice Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then we've been off since then, so that is kind of our little last go-around. But I mean, it's been so long. I feel like I was out here 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? Yeah. I've kind of approached this tournament a little bit different than I do a lot of them. I've kind of, you know, done my best to find 3 or 4 different patterns to kind of be able to run throughout the day. I want to feel like I'm a little bit more prepared instead of just dialed on one deal. Fishing changes every day, so it seems like if you can have like a step-by-step rotation to kind of work through a few different patterns each day till you kind of figure out what's going on, and then you can go look for new stuff during the day. Whenever I first got there that week, I was watching the weather and it showed we had a really nice warming trend coming, so I really felt like the fish were going to be coming to the bank. The areas I found were those type of areas I thought they were going to come and spawn. I've just been fishing my whole life. I mean, I've got pictures from before I can remember being a little kid with my dad and my grandpa and my great-grandpa. Just fishing, catching whatever would bite. And That's when I really fell in love with it. I always dreamed of being a professional bass fisherman, but whenever you're a small town kid growing up working on the farm, it doesn't seem like it's something that's possible. My summers growing up as a kid always consisted of sports or cutting hay or working cows. I actually got to start our high school fishing team on a bet with my baseball coach. It was something that he didn't really want to get into. And I talked him into giving me one chance, and he said, if you win, he said, we'll keep this thing going, and if not, that would just be the end of it. And I won my first high school state championship that week. And our school still got a high school fishing team to this day. But after that, I worked my way up to college. If it wasn't for bass fishing, I wouldn't have went to college. During college, I won a tournament that allowed me to go fish the Bassmaster Opens for a year. While fishing the Opens for the year, I got to fish the Classic for the first time that year. 3 years ago now, made the elites, and I'm living the dream and just thankful to be here. Honestly, it's one of those sports that you can really have an awesome career for a long time. I mean, look at Rick Clunn. Rick Clunn, he actually lives about 15, 20 minutes away from me. Rick was one of those people growing up that really made me realize that it was possible to become a fisherman. Honestly, he had more faith in me than, a lot of people. He was the guy that whenever he told me he believed in me, it really pointed me in the right direction. It takes a lot of self-motivation. It's not something that somebody's gonna wake you up in the morning and tell you you've got to go do it. You're working for your paychecks out here. Nobody's making you fish daylight to dark, but you have to, because if you want to be successful, you've got to put more time in than anybody else. Good morning from the start to media day. We kind of got here early, so we had time to clean up our rig a little bit. Well, media day, it's a lot of fun. It's a good opportunity to get to spend some time with some of your sponsors, some of the local media people. I got there about 9 o'clock and just worked on tackle till then. If we win the Classic, it's gonna be on It's all just starting to kick off. All the different representatives from all the companies are starting to roll around, get some good content videos, and so we're about to knock out a bunch of those for some of the companies we work with. So we're just getting a little walkthrough of how it's all going to go down on game day when we come in here for weigh-in. It's going to be pretty special, man. This place is going to be rocking come Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's been a long week of all kinds of stuff, so I'm just ready to get it going. Fell in love with this game, just going bass fishing. I'm just ready to do that again in the morning. Day one, Bassmaster Classic. Here we go. First morning of the Classic, just rolling into the ramp. There were hundreds of bass fishing fans there to watch us take off. You know, we started practice 7 days ago on this lake. It's an ever-changing place, and somebody's going to be leading the Bassmaster Classic today, and hopefully it's us. You start idling past this huge crowd that's there to send us off. You know, that's the first time that you really are like, all right, this is the real deal, and it's go time. I make a run down the lake. Takes me about 25 minutes to get where I'm going. I go through my first area, and man, every log I wind that thing by. I'm like just waiting to get bit, and it doesn't happen. An hour and a half into it, I get my first bite. And it was probably a 3.5 pounder, and I broke it off. And I was like, man, this is how I'm gonna start my Classic. Sat down, retied, and got back after him. I made a small move to a different area. And as soon as I shut the boat down, the first log I threw over, I caught one about 4.
Yes! Way to go.
4 pounder. The next hour was special. Bassmaster Classic, that's what we're looking for.
1, 2, 3 4 pounders. One of them a little over 4.5 pounds.
Woo!
All within about 45 minutes there for Cody Huff.
Pretty good start.
Real good start.
That's the way you want to start a Bassmaster Classic. He will win this term if he keeps catching those fish that size.
Boom, baby! Yeah!
So top the leaderboard, Cody Huff with 20 pounds even. When Rick Plunn tells the world that you're an incredible angler, I'm pretty sure you're an incredible angler.
I knew I had a good bag, so I really didn't want to just wear them out in that area. I wanted to be able to go back to this area if the weather stayed right, and I decided it was time to get out of there and just go fish for one big one the rest of the day.
And you can see he's caught a couple of fish. He's picking up, getting ready to go. All right, what's the thought now? What's going on in your head?
Yeah, we're gonna keep running up. We're gonna work our way up, probably try to get a little more color.
He's big fish hunting right now. He got that magic 20, and now he's just looking to really upgrade. He's got a 3.5 as his small fish, so he needs a good-sized fish just to kick out that dake of 3.5 pounds. There's a lot of anglers in this field wishing they had those 3.5 pounders.
He has not been around a lot of other competitors so far on day one.
And the first spot is a place that he will get some traffic. I mean, if people are thinking he's leading and want to follow him, they can go to that one tomorrow, and it might cause him some problems.
Luckily today, everything went as planned, and you know, when they bit, we got them in the boat, and good day one. We're not out of it yet. I think it's going to put us right in the middle of things going into day two. You know, we're fixing to load this thing up, get our fish checked, and then we're going to roll to Tulsa. Go see everybody in that big crowd.
Man, it looks like we're gonna be contestant number 1 out here on the stage today.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Ava, Missouri, please put your hands together for Cody Huff.
Cody Huff fishing his third Bassmaster Classic. 21 pounds, 2 ounces, 21-2. And that is your tournament leader, ladies and gentlemen.
After catching 21 pounds the first day of the Classic, man, I'm all smiles. This is a dream start to this event.
We got day 1 out of the way. We had a lot of fun today. I do believe 10 more like that might do it.
After you get done weigh-ins, they have a media room where all the media folks are waiting on you. You'll kind of go down the line. You probably do 10 or 12 interviews. After that, I just went back to the boatyard and started working on tackle again. I was leading the Classic for a while, and then Justin Hamner weighed in. He had 22 and change. But being in first or second, after the first day, it's about the same. You're right where you need to be to have a shot at it. Good morning, guys. Day 2 here at the Classic, and it's a party going on here this morning. There's a ton of people. We're gonna roll out in second place today. Day 2, it was like a 180 change in conditions. It was not a pretty day. It started off cloudy and windy, like super, super windy. And we had a cold front come through that night, and it actually got in the 30s after we had had a bunch of warm nights in a row.
This is second place going out on day number 2. Cody Huff.
When I called them the first day, the water temperature was about 62 degrees. They were in a good mood biting the first day. And after that cold front hit, day 2, I went out there and it was not happening.
Well, you got to say the story of the morning so far has to be Cody Huff. Cody Huff, by this time yesterday, already had 3 good ones in his live well.
I was definitely thinking that. He's got to be starting to wonder a little bit about these fish, the cold weather affecting them, but will these fish replenish?
After being in second place the first day of the Classic, at 11 o'clock on day 2, I don't have a bass in the live well. I want to make decisions off of faith and not fear. I try to put my faith in God and make my decisions off of what He's got planned for me. And that's a hard thing to do because when you don't have a bass at 11 o'clock, you are nervous. That is an easy time for your brain to just be going all over the place. And, you know, just all day telling myself, he's got a plan, just figure it out. We're gonna run down towards the dam for a little while to see if we can get a few bites and maybe try to figure something out that's really not been affected as much by this little cold snap, but hopefully the sun pops out here in a little while. I knew it was time to make a change, so I swapped my secondary pattern. That pattern was flipping a jig on the last deep bank in some of those creeks, and lucky for me, it seemed like they were really biting doing that deal. We got a Grand Lake bass. Ooh! That is one step closer to getting to fish Sunday. You can't win if you ain't there. Finally got us a bite.
So each one of these docks, you can almost consider it its own little secondary staging spot, and they'll spawn right on the cables right behind the docks. And one of the best bites you got is swim that jig and it hits that cable, and then wham, they just grab it.
Boom, baby! Look at that one. How about that? Wrestled out of the jungle. Yes, thank you, Lord. What a productive little bank we have here. Yeah! They just keep coming. They ain't big, but I like them right now. Give me a little more sunshine. There's 4.
Live shot right now, high above Cody Huff, currently in 3rd place.
Good to see him come back and get right in the middle of things again.
We're wrangling them. Finally getting some bites. Had to kind of back out a little bit from what we were doing, but we'll take them however they want to come.
That's a pretty hefty jump from zero.
Yeah! That's what I'm talking about, baby.
This is a compelling tournament. I mean, because when you look at how tight it is, we're on a body of water where you can weigh 29 pounds. Anybody is in this.
Conditions completely changing, the wind blowing more tomorrow, overcast, rainy, who knows what's happened.
If I would have been hard-headed and kept doing what I was doing that morning, I probably wouldn't have caught a bass and wouldn't even have made the cut. So that was a change that I made that just made the whole event for me. Man, just rolled in after day 2 here. We had a tougher day today. Caught 15 pounds or so. I just got my boat loaded up. And I'm in a big long line, and I'm gonna pull up here and they're gonna check and make sure all our fish are alive and all that. And then we got us about an 1.5 hour ride back to Tulsa, and we'll get parked in the boatyard and just sit and wait our turn. So makes you a little bit antsy, you know, not knowing how things are gonna shake out. I was pretty disappointed with my day. I knew I still had a chance, but I didn't know how it was gonna shake out. So I'm racking my brain, thinking about what I could have done different and trying to figure out what I need to do tomorrow.
Alabama, Justin Hamner.
Tanker up.
Yeah.
He's your day 1 leader, had 22 pounds and 6 ounces. 20 pounds even with 42 pounds, 6 ounces, Justin Hamner.
That is stout. He's whacking them. But good news is the conditions are going to be crazy tomorrow. Fishing's going to change. We've got probably 15 pounds or so, so we're probably going to be somewhere between 5 and 6 pounds behind.
Heads up, guys. That'll shoot you in the face, okay? I'm just trying to give you a heads up here. Oh boy. She's got a stream.
We're finally at weigh-in. It's about dark now. Man, just to have a shot at the Bassmaster Classic going into Sunday, man, it's special. I can't wait to go in here and get these things weighed and just see where we're at going into tomorrow.
Please welcome Cody Huff.
15 pounds, 2 ounces with 36 pounds, 4 ounces. He moves into 3rd place currently, and he's inside our Super 6 and fishing on Championship Sunday.
Man, I'm just blessed to be here. I got an awesome crowd up here, and man, oh man, we're gonna go swinging for them tomorrow. So I ended up weighing in, and I'm still only a few pounds behind, but luckily I stayed in 3rd place and knew I was still right in the middle of things.
Good morning. You are in the right place. This place right here, the state of Oklahoma. And you know what day it is. Championship Sunday at the Bass Pro Shops Bassmaster Classic, where 25 anglers are left a lot of twists and turns along the way.
This is the day that, everything's decided. Somebody is going to become the world champion of bass fishing today.
We're well within striking distance. We're on a lake that's got big ones, and we've got the right conditions to catch big ones today. So that's kind of been the deal for me all week, is figuring it out every day. I've caught them different both days, so I know I'm probably going to catch them different again today. It's just one of those deals you got to keep grinding until you run into them.
We had really windy conditions, and I wanted to not go where I had been starting. I wanted to just chase the wind, trust my instincts, and see if I could catch one or two of those big fish that I felt like would make the difference.
Just 5 bites, that's all we need, 5 big ones.
Before takeoff, they bring the trophy around and they show it to each and every one of us. It's that chance for all of us to look at that trophy and just think about how much it means to us. After that, I said the prayer for everyone that morning, and it's just a special time for me, and it's just one of those times when you're just getting your head right and it's almost go time.
We just love it, baby.
I fished for a few hours without a bite again. Another tough morning, no fish in the boat, and I said, all right, I'm gonna run down to where I caught them day 1 and see what's going on down there. And by the time I got there on day 3, it was pretty crowded with people. And that's when I picked up my jig and just went flipping again.
Got him that time. Number 1. Man.
After a nice little dry spell, pounds or dollar signs, baby. We gotta put us a few in the box.
We got 3. We got us another 2. We got us a limit of small bass. But better than no bass.
And I've only got about 11 pounds, and I knew that wasn't going to be enough to win, even if he didn't catch them.
Oh, I don't know. It was in 3rd going into today, but we haven't caught him very good.
And a look at Cody Huff right there, and you can see he has shifted his game plan.
Good choice switching up from a jig to a spinnerbait.
Probably the last 20 minutes of the day, I pulled up on a stretch that just looked so good and nosed my boat in behind 2 docks. And there's this log laying back there right behind the cables. And I took a big spinnerbait and just made the perfect cast and was winding it over that log.
Yes! Thank you, Lord.
I caught about a 3 3/4, and that was a huge cold for me at the time. It ended up being a $20-something thousand bass. It took me from being way down the leaderboard and kept me up there near 3rd place. I knew I probably needed more, but that was the one fish that, gave me that little bit of hope that made me think, all right, well, at least he had to catch some today to win this thing. I feel like when something's meant to be, you can't mess it up. That's how it's always been in my life. Whenever something's meant to be, whenever I'm gonna win something, it just seems like there's not a single thing I can do to mess it up. And that's the feeling I have any tournament I fish. I just know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and if I do my job and everything works out right, it can happen. I know all of us are drained. I'm drained. It's long days and short nights. Nobody's ever gonna complain about being at the Classic, but it's definitely a long, grueling week. It'll test you. We were in the Super 6 going into today, so I know they're going to have us up on stage to do some different things. Should be a fun weigh-in. They bring us all out, and we'll get to wave to the crowd and make a lap around the arena before we ever weigh in. It's just total craziness. There's so many bass fishing fans there, and it's a lot of fun. But it's one of those things that it can make a guy pretty nervous. That many people.
14 pounds, 3 ounces. Get loud for Ava, Missouri's Cody Huff.
This is what dreams are made of. This is what we all live for, and man, without all these crazy people out here that like these slimy green fish, we couldn't do this. You know, I remember being a little kid watching Rick Clunn wind them in on Sunday mornings before we went to church, and I'm telling you, it's just been something that's been in my blood since I can remember. I look up and there's my wife and my little one, my mom and my dad, grandma, aunt, all kinds of friends and family. Hey, big thank you to all my sponsors, Bass Pro Shops, for putting this on, and all the rest of the companies that support me, and especially that big family up there, and I love you guys, and maybe we'll make a run at this again. Justin came in and weighed, and man, he kicked our tails. He had an awesome week. I ended up in 3rd place in the Classic, and to date, in my mind, that's my biggest tournament accomplishment. It didn't work out like I wanted it to this time, but it's one of those things, like I said, if it's meant to be, it's going to happen sometime down the road. You never know, maybe next time is the time it will.